la la, buongiorno. How are you? How are you? I'm good, thank you. Today I wanted to deep dive, that's how the professional people say, into the list problem for A-Chip Milan or for the other clubs of Serie A. It's the same, but we're going to talk mainly about AC Milan. So we have a problem with the list. I'll tell you how it works in Italy, how the market basically works. There are some rules that you have to follow. We will see why our market suck, why AC Milan, why. So we're gonna see all of this. I'll try to explain how things works in Serie A. So, and why we can't buy anybody unless we sell anybody. So we need to sell players before we buy them. So all the voices that you hear about the gazillion players that AC Milan is following, useless if we don't sell anybody on the team. So let's take a look. So 25 players. Every team in Serie A must present a list of 25 players maximum before the beginning of Serie A. Okay. Of these 25 players, 17 can be foreigners, and 8 must be formed in Italy, basically. So those 8 are divided into 4 formed in the club and 4 formed in Italy. So for example, in the club, it could be Calabria for us and Gabbia, right? Because they have been in the club for a long time, or formed in Italy, like in this case it was Pobega, right? So these 8 spots are taken by this type of player. So what does it mean being formed in the club or in Italy? It means that the players must have been basically 3 years in Italy on a club from the age 15 to 21. Okay, that's what it means. In addition to these 25, any team can have more players, which is the category of under 22. So those under 22 do not count for the list. You can use them, but you don't have to put them on a list. This is done to promote young players, potentially good players, without taking a spot for another player, basically. So it's to promote that kind of behavior. For example, in AC Milan, Musa is, I think he's 22 now, but he's still under 22, 21. So he didn't count in the list. So that's how it works. There are some other rules for the market. So when a team buys a player, they can sign maximum 2 non-EU players. What does that mean? It means they can sign max 2 non-EU players. So in our case, that has been Emerson Magical Royale and Stem Pavlovic. Those are our spots, okay? So we already filled those spots. So we can get more, but we have to sell those like more non-EU players to get more players, basically. And there is another rule. This rule that applies basically to Albanian, British, Swiss, which are not EU, but are counted as EU for 1 player, okay? So for example, so we can get these 2 players, and one of these, basically we can get a British player, for example, Walker, for example, without taking up a spot for the non-EU players. And that is why we can get Walker, but we cannot get Rashford as well. The way we have to get Rashford as well will be to sell a non-EU players, like for example Pavlovic, right? Or Emerson, but we do not want to sell Emerson. So these are the rule, and this is why AC Milan cannot get basically Rashford and Walker at the same time. Now there is another problem. The other problem is this. So the list, you can update the list, obviously, after the January transfer market, but we already have 17 foreigners. This is the list that Milan gave at the beginning of the season, right? So you can see here the number 1 to number 17. These are all foreigners, okay? And then you have 4 Italians, basically here, with over 22 that were formed in Italy. We have Florenzi, Sportiello, Calabria, a gabbia, okay? And that's why it was important in the market of in this summer to get like Italian players like Ricci, because we need to get on with this list as well. So because if you don't have the players, you can register less players. So obviously the under 22, you don't need to put them here, so you can use them. Okay, so like you like Musa, for example, or Jimenez. But still, this is kind of sad, to be honest, and not because I'm saying that Milan needs only Italian players. Sure, I'd like to have more Italian players, but I'd like to have good players. Right now they're all taken or too expensive, and so we're not gonna buy anything. But anyway, let's go back to the list problem. So when we get Walker, we need to make space. So if you see here, that means that any of these players must be sold, or otherwise it's gonna go with Origi and Balotore. And if we want to win the financial Scudetto, we're not gonna do that. We can't waste money like that. So we have to sell before we buy. We almost sold Okafor, and maybe we will be able to sell Okafor, but not yet. They were talking about selling Pavlovic. Strange choice, in my opinion. But yeah, basically the two candidates to leave AC Milan are Jovic, which he never plays and is not even in the list for the Champions League, and Okafor. Okay, so Okafor basically has to go to free a space for Walker. So if you want even Rashford, you have to sell another non-EU player, which is, for example, Pavlovic or Emerson Royal, but we don't want to sell Emerson Royal. We do not. We do not. No, never. Never. Anyway, so this is the situation of AC Milan. And our situation is it's pretty bad because our squad does not look good. That good. Could be better, but this also gives you hints of the inadequate choice that were made during the market without a clear vision on the team. Because even now, I'll show you the roster of AC Milan. So this is what we have. So we're gonna get Walker, right? Look how many fullbacks we have, and not even one of those is decent. We have Calabria, Florenzi, which you forgot about Florenzi. Yeah, we have Florenzi, but it's broken. Florenzi, Jimenez, Royal, Terracciano. We have 5. Look at this hand. 5 right fullbacks. And we're going to get one more. We're going to get Walker. Of these 5 fullbacks, nobody is worth to be a fullback in AC Milan. And we saw that because when Emerson Royal plays, it's not that great. When Calabria plays, still we have problems. Florenzi, who knows when he's going to play. Sanchez, Jimenez, we never kind of saw him in that role. He's playing as a third attacking, in the attacking third, basically. And Terracciano, we never saw him, and that's good. That's okay. So Terracciano never plays as right fullback. We saw him instead of Hernandez. So basically, we have one left fullback, which plays with the left foot. All the others, they play with the right foot, okay? And Walker plays with the right foot. When you say it like this, yeah, in effect, it doesn't make sense. You should prioritize something else. Like if you sell Okafor, maybe we should prioritize a striker or a midfielder, because that's where our big problems really are. I mean, defense is not great, but still can work around it, right? Also, to add on the list thing, they can modify the Champions League list, obviously, but after the games that remains, before the beginning of the next round, we can modify the team. But like, for example, Walker will be able to play after the qualification of AC Milan. Just a thing. So we are a little bit screwed here because we can't buy anybody unless we sell anybody, and all these choices that we did in the summer are not paying off. In fact, AC Milan is 8th in the standings of Serie A right now. So we know that AC Milan is trying to sell Okafor and Jovic. If Okafor goes away, we get Walker. If Jovic goes away, I don't know. Joao Felix? I don't think so, because AC Milan does not want to spend money. So AC Milan does not do the market based on the what we need, but on what opportunities they see. Clearly, getting Walker is a big opportunity. It can give experience, it can give mentality to the team. We're gonna have more AC Milan fans because it is gonna bring the whole family to San Siro. So that's more people there. Beautiful. But when you look at things, it doesn't look like the best move, right? Because we need to fix the midfield a lot. Problem is that the managers basically saw this and said, "Well, Loftus-Cheek is back, Benacer is back, we're fine, we're perfect in the midfield." And no, we are not. We are absolutely not. I wouldn't count too much on Loftus-Cheek and Benacer, and we saw why. Benacer is being very frail. He gets injured a lot. Even if he's playing recently, he's not playing great, right? So we do not have somebody that can play for Fofana, and Fofana has been playing basically every game, and there are so many more games to play that is unthinkable to think that Fofana can do all the games, and same is for Renders. So I think the priority for the market should be a playmaker, because what Renders is a playmaker is more of an incursor, in my mind at least. So he helps create, but he helps score a lot. So I would like to have that pure play, like good playmaker, right? But that we don't have. And Fofana, we need a defensive midfielder that can stand in for Fofana. Like, I love Ricci, but it's gonna be too expensive. Don't expect AC Milan to spend money on Ricci. I don't expect in the summer AC Milan to make a move for Ricci, because probably some club in Premier League will try to get Ricci and AC Milan will say, yes, we are out. That's pretty much what is going to happen. There were talks about the Friendrup, for example, right? From Genoa. So Genoa asked for 25 millions. AC Milan, as usually, said, nah, I'll give you 18. What do you think? And Genoa said no. And AC Milan said, okay, bye. So all the names that you hear do not matter unless we sell somebody. So don't get excited by the million names you're seeing until you get excited when you see Okafor has been sold or Jovic has been sold. Then you can think that they might buy somebody. But I'm afraid that the market of AC Milan will just end like this, with no new transfer, which is very sad, because we're not even trying to fix the team, to be honest. It's just really sad, and this attack is not working. Abraham and Morata, they're not scoring, but it's not a new thing. Like, we knew that Abraham and Morata would not score a lot. This is not like I'm disappointed. No, you knew already. So it's all planned. Chikwueze is gone. Jovic, who knows? Leao, when he wants to play, he plays. So yeah, that's the team. And then they're talking about selling Tomori. I think that's a stupid move. Like, why would you give Tomori to Juventus after you gave already Kalulu? And Kalulu in this AC Milan would have been so important. Selemakers too for this AC Milan would have been much better than what we have, because Kalulu could have been playing as a right fullback, probably better than any other fullback we had. So you get Walker that can play as a right fullback and as a center back as well, right? But then you have to hope that he is really good, because if he's not good, then we're kind of screwed. It's true that we are getting him with an option to buy, so you can see the 6 months and then say, okay, no, we're not gonna keep him. We can actually get like a strong one, or I don't know what's gonna happen. Anyway, I hope this helped clarify. I'm sorry if my explanation was shite. I am still learning. But yeah, so that's it. We gotta sell before we buy. And if we buy, we gotta sell. But we can't sell very well. All we can do is give players away for free. Just give the best players away. But yeah, I don't see any I don't see a plan when they do the market. I don't see a clear strategy. It just feels so random. Like the market is just so random. It's like, yeah, is that guy available? Is it? It was good. Maybe let's take him. That's all I can see. There's not a plan. There's not a plan. I don't see a clear plan. If you see a plan, tell me, because this plan to me is unreadable. I don't understand it. And now goodbye. Goodbye.